Hello, everyone. This is Casey Stubbs. I am here with the How to Trade It podcast. And today I am with Agnieszka Wood, who is a trading mindset coach from aheadcoach.com. Thank you, Agnieszka, for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, a trading mindset coach. Can you tell me a little bit about what a trading mindset coach does?
Absolutely. So, a trading mindset coach is focusing on your mindset, as the name say, everything with that has to do with trading. Basically, 80% of trading art is about the mindset, having the right trading mindset, and how you coach yourself in your thoughts, in your head to being profitable and to making the right decisions. So the trading mindset coach is helping you to develop that right mindset.
Okay, and so what are some of the key components that people tend to not understand about how to get the right mindset?
You see, in trading, but in general in life, everything what we do is based on what we believe. And our beliefs are influencing our perception, so how we perceive the world from outside, and also how we look at the market, how we interpret the charts. Everything, basically, every single bit of information that's coming into our head, we are putting those filters of what we believe, what we find that it's, what we find important, our values in life. We filter that information, and that makes whatever comes out and the decisions we are making, it distorts our vision, and then it influences our trading decisions. So that's like the basic element of the mindset and the basis for me to work with traders, to make sure that we look at their beliefs, that we look what filters they have, what expectations, and going through that process, make people aware how that influences their trading.
Okay, so when you're talking about beliefs, what kind of things do you need to believe in order to be a good trader?
You see, I don't believe, my belief is, talking about beliefs, I don't believe that there is a ideal trader person or a trader ideal for everyone. I think every single person is different, and our beliefs are basically based on what we have experienced in our life. And for everyone, this is different. And it is not about taking your beliefs and throwing them away or changing them and trying, mold you to someone you are not, but taking who you are already and looking at your qualities and what you believe, and looking how that influences your decision, so you can be aware of what your strengths are and how you can use it in a trading context, but also what the threats are, where are the risks. If you know that your belief is, for example, something that you find important because you have done this, or your belief is that you cannot be successful, or you believe in scarcity, like the money never comes to me, it will have an enormous influence on how you will be taking your decisions, because you will be constantly scared of losing money.
Okay, so that would be based on fear. Your fear is your beliefs is based in fear and lack.
Definitely.
That's pretty interesting. And so you're saying that belief system of money never comes to me, or it never works out my way, or I've always been broke, or my family's broke and I'm broke, just these things.
Exactly.
And they just kind of sit on you. So how do you release yourself from some of that stuff?
Yeah, so the first step is to become aware of it. Just in the learning process, first you don't know what you don't know, right? But then when you become aware of it, you can start putting attention on it and looking at what the influence is. So I call it watch the thinker. Watch the thinker in your head. What are you telling to yourself? Because that's like we have habits. We have habits to think in a certain way, and we have habits to talk to ourselves in a certain way. And that influences our confidence greatly. So if you are, if you keep repeating to yourself that you are stupid every time you make a mistake, how can you feel confident enough to take trades on your own?
Right. So is one of the beliefs that you're looking to try to build up in people is a belief of self-confidence?
Oh, definitely. Yes. So I think confidence is like the biggest part that makes a difference for people that, to be successful. And I think if you look at people, why they're getting into trading is because they want to achieve freedom and independence. And, it could be financial independence or just simply being your own boss. People have basically this image of a trader. It's a free person, I can work whenever I want and I can do what I want. But what often happens is because they have a hard time making money and because of the lack of confidence, they are ending up following someone else, trying to get that confidence that one day they will be able to trade as that person. It's, even outside of the fact that when you are following someone's trades, you are always too late to the game because you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just one thing aside. But the second thing is you don't build any confidence. You actually kind of cutting your own chair, because when the person just falls away for some reason, I don't know, maybe the person doesn't have internet anymore to tell you what he or she is trading. Suddenly, what are you going to do? You panic because you don't have a confidence that you can do it on your own. So my mission is, to help traders to not only become constantly profitable, but also being able to trade independent, because I think that's the real freedom that will help them to achieve their dream.
Right. So if they're expecting to just follow off somebody else, they're still not really building their own confidence, and it could be damaging.
Correct.
I've actually never thought of it that way. That's
Correct.
pretty interesting. So, self-confidence is something that I have to deal with sometimes, not with me. For whatever reason, I've never had that problem. I'm kind of like the exact opposite. I have these crazy thoughts that I can do anything, and usually they're like totally false. Like, okay, can you build this new type of tool? And I've never seen it before. But I'll answer people like, yeah, I can do that. And that's one of the reasons why I jump into so many different things. But anyway, it's not about me. I just try to understand, these mindsets, because I work with people, even when I'm hiring people, and the self-confidence sometimes is crippling. Like I get people that are so terrified to even make a decision or even do anything. It's like, okay, well, I laid out this job for you, and why didn't you do it? And I find out it's not because they're a bad person or anything like that, or they're lazy. It's not anything like that, but they're just so terrified of making a decision because they have absolutely no self-confidence.
Correct.
And so how does that actually, how do you start to begin to tear that away? Because that's a big deal.
Yes. So, confidence have something to do with the sense of identity. How do you perceive yourself? And that goes back again to your beliefs, what you believe you can or you cannot do. The interesting thing about belief is really, I don't know if you've heard that there is, I think in one of the either books or movies said, there was a quote, I forgot who said it, but they said, she didn't know it was impossible, so she went and did it.
Right.
So basically the belief is being created by a habit. So you start doing something, you say, oh, I cannot do it. But at the moment that you actually do it, you cannot say anymore, you cannot do it, because you just did it, right? And then you start repeating it, and then you repeat it over and over again. And at some point on the subconscious level, it becomes a habit and it becomes a conviction. And it's on the subconscious process that it becomes your belief at some point, because you just have proved to yourself that something is possible. And it is not always easy if you don't have the self-confidence to actually look at yourself and look at that process. And then sometimes you need the help of someone else to kind of pinpoint those moments, like, hey, look, you lack the self-confidence, or you think you're not self-confident because this and that happened, and that's what you are keep telling to yourself, and that's how you are basically constantly sabotage your self-confidence, just by repeating to yourself that you're stupid, for example. Very simple thing. But if you constantly tell yourself that you are stupid or not worth it, I mean, there's plenty of people saying that, how can you feel confident?
Right. So if somebody is listening to this show and they have identified that maybe they have a self-confidence problem, and that then they should be, the awareness should come up and say, okay, maybe that's what's happening with my trading. What other types of people should really reach out to you, and what kind of things would they be noticing about themselves where you could help them with?
Yeah, I think, and also looking back at my trading experience, because outside of being a coach, I have been trading for 7 years now. I think one of the obstacles that I experienced was becoming consistent. And when someone has the idea that, oh, I'm making the same mistake over and over again, it's like banging the head on the wall and just not understanding why it's happening. Because, for every single person, I mean, it's pretty much a definition of insanity, doing over and over again the same thing and expect different results. So, but I've been there and I've done that for 2 years. My first 2 years of trading were pretty much that. I would, make money and then lose it again, over and over again. And I think mainly that was because when I started analyzing back from my, I studied neuroscience and I'm a life coach as well. So I started analyzing, like, what was the problem? And I noticed that for some reason, I kept holding onto the loser. I just had this, it wasn't an urge, it wasn't something that I was aware of, but I kept holding a loser. I would not sell it. And I wasn't not even stressed about it. It was just like kind of a normal thing to me. And I discovered later on that it did had something to do with one of my beliefs. And that realization definitely made a huge difference in my trading, just to realize what I'm doing, because it's hard to change something if you are doing something over and over again and you don't understand what's happening. It's like, having a broken car and just don't understand what is wrong with it. You don't really know where to bring it and what part to buy, because you don't know what's happening. So once you know, you can actually take actions.
So what was the belief that you discovered that was causing you to hold on to losers?
I actually had a belief that I don't deserve to be successful, or not so much the deserve, but from my experience in my early age, every time that I would be successful, someone else would be hurting. And that was, someone I loved, and it was a person very close to my heart. So at some point, I, first of all, could not enjoy any success that I had. And at a certain point, I would sabotage my success so that it wouldn't be a success. And it was a very, it was such an eye-opening to me that, I was having a success, but then it was almost like at this last moment, I was like, no, I can't. I can't do that because someone might hurt. And the situation completely changed. It's not that it's relevant at the time where you are there, but the process, the subconscious process, the pattern is still at work, So that was for me, and it was a big realization and also very emotional because realizing things like that can be, they can touch you.
Sometimes it takes a little courage to go in deep and face the things you don't want to face.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think that is one of the reasons why, you probably heard that 90% of people who are trying to be successful in trading, they don't actually succeed, they fail. And throughout my journey, it became very clear to me why. It is not because the trading is so difficult, that it is so difficult to spot a setup. I believe that this is because, not first of all, everyone is trying to learn the same way, regardless what type of people there are, but also because learning trading means that you will be confronted with yourself on a level that you might have never imagined possible. All your fears, some call it demons, will come to life and they will confront you sooner or later. And simply not everyone is ready to do it or willing to do it, as you mentioned.
Okay, so in analyzing that statement, if you're not willing to deal with some of your mindset and personal issues, then it's almost impossible to be successful in trading unless you deal with those.
I truly believe so. You will make it very, very difficult for yourself. And I don't have any statistics to back it up, but I do believe so. And I think, the stories of many, many traders are showing it. And I know that the general view on how you should learn trading in a market is you have to spend many years, and everyone tells you, and you will lose a lot of money and you might lose your capital. And I was thinking about it for a long, long time. And I personally, I have never lost my capital. I was just losing what I was making due to the inconsistency. But I just don't think that's true. I really think that, yes, everything in life you will be learning every day, and in trading you will be learning every day because the situation in the market is changing, economy is changing, people behaviors are changing. But I think that if you start with yourself and with your mindset, considering that mindset is 80% of it, why wouldn't you start with that? That's just, to me, so not logical. Why would you start learning all the strategies and going one by one until you finally find one? You know what I mean?
Well, I do, but I think it's because I don't know. I think you might have said this. You don't know what you don't know, right? So obviously,
know,
people,
yeah.
when they're going to start trading, they don't know that.
True.
Trading mindset coach, I would imagine there's not too many of you around. If you look online, there's probably 9 million strategies and different ways to make a lot of money, but there's very few trading mindset coaches. So I would imagine most people are going into this pretty blind.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely it, because when I decided finally, after a few years of playing, because I cannot call it trading, I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning. When I finally decided to take trading education and I did a course, I actually finished that course with plenty of theory and 2 handful of setups. And the key takeaway was, one day you will find your trading niche. I had no idea what that was and what they were talking about, but I knew I have to find it. But I didn't even know where to look for. So yes, I started exactly the same way. I would just start trading, joining different trade rooms, following other people, and hoping that one day I will find my trading niche and I'll be successful like the rest.
Okay. So I have some questions on this idea, because honestly, I've heard a lot of things, but I don't know if I've ever heard this. So I need to understand it. So you, after a journey, you discovered your trading niche. So what is your trading niche?
So what I discovered was what the trading niche was. I discovered that it was, at least that's how I understand it, is that it is not something that has to do with a setup, with a strategy, but it has to do with it has to do with you. It has to do with your performance zone, how you like your trades and how you are performing in life, how you make things successful in general, and then project that into trading. Because there's so many different ways of doing things, and when you look at the most successful people, they are not doing what everyone say that they should do. They really have a vision. They go and they do what they think fits them, right? So I think that's what I understood that the trading niche was. So that's what I did. I went back and in my life, I have had many different jobs. I had a few different companies that I started up, and I always basically made everything a success. So for me, not being able to make it the first 2 years in trading was just, I was so surprised. I had no idea what was going on. And at the moment that at some point my confidence even started to hurt. And as I'm the same way as you, or you said, like, I never doubt myself. I never have confidence. I never doubt whether I can do something or not. For many years I had a quote on my wall in my bedroom: if you believe in yourself, you can do anything. And literally, that's my strongest belief. And I think that when you have that strong zone where you perform the best, take that and put it into trading, because then you will know how to take, like, if you have a setup or a certain strategy that you are looking at, you will know where to take the trade so that you will not get shaked out. When you will know where your fears are, where you think you might have to get out, because otherwise your greed will kick in, and that kind of things. I think that's what really made a difference in my trading. And like within 2 weeks, I'm talking about, like, instantly.
So it was that discovery, and automatically it was kind of like a light had switched, like flipping the switch on. You didn't realize it, and then all of a sudden it switched.
Yeah. So I basically, what I did was, after having this tough time trading, I took a break because I was so demotivated and my confidence started hurting. I'm like, people sometimes tell you, sometimes you just don't make it and you have to quit. And I really thought maybe this is the time for me to quit. You have to be realistic. And, but I am not a quitter. So, and the time heals the wounds, right? So several months after, the winner in me started encouraging me to give it a try. And I knew that if I get back, I just cannot do it the same way as I did before, because that would make me an insane person. So, and since I am a life coach, I made a deal with myself that if I'm going to trade again, I need to do it differently. So I looked back and I researched those, reasons why I kept losing money, like those beliefs, for example. And I also analyzed those strategies in other areas of my life, and I put it back to trading. And within 2 weeks after I started again, I started making money pretty easily, which, I didn't want to be too happy too soon, because I've had it when I started trading. I had my luck, beginner's luck, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably nothing. But after a few months making money consistently, that was pretty incredible, because that same year, my profit factor rose to over 3 points, which means basically I made 3 times more than than I had in losses. Then the year after, I doubled my account. And currently my profit factor ranges between 5 and 8, and that's just
Is that
just
like
pretty.
so you're averaging 5 times more than what your losses are?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And 80% of my trades are green trades.
What do you trade?
I just trade stocks. Just I personally like trading higher priced stocks like Tesla, Shopify, a lot of tech stocks. Pretty much momentum stocks. I really trade momentum stocks, or whatever moves,
Right. That's great.
But I like
Is it a swing trading or day trading?
I do both.
Yeah.
Both. It really depends on the opportunity. And I like the higher price stocks because I just like expensive things in general.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I know some other women like that too. So I was talking with another trader right before this because I've had a lot of guests, and I just love being a podcast host. It's like the best thing ever because I get so much.
Tell. It's a pleasure to be here. I can tell you're really enjoying it.
I get a lot of info. I mean, I'm learning so much. And so the woman that I interviewed before said, her name was Valerie. She said, I think it's 50% mindset and 50% strategy. What do you think about that?
I think, everyone can give its own percentage.
Right.
I think once you have the right mindset, then you don't really have to work on your mindset. It's not like you're trying to create something that is not there, in my perspective. So then when you are trading, you can just focus on trading. But the beginning stage is to create that mindset. And I would say, like, even in my program, I focus the first weeks. I don't even touch charts. I don't even talk stocks. It's all about the mindset. Because yes, if you are trying to become that trader, that ideal trader, being patient, disciplined, non-emotional, computer-like person, because computers are basically the best traders, right? So if you're trying to become someone that is not like this perfect someone else, you will have to keep working on your mindset. So yes, with that respect, it might be 50-50 because you have to concentrate on both. But once you know your mindset is right and you have your performance zone, then you can just concentrate on trading.
So then it could be said that it might be 50-50, but mindset has to come first, because if you don't get your mindset, you're never going to find the strategy.
That's very good way to put it. And I don't think there is one secret strategy, as I mentioned. It's like, everyone has its own ways. Yes, there are setups that everyone follows, but there's so much more to strategy.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're basically out of time, so I want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about some of the stuff you're doing. I like the idea of finding your niche, your trading niche. I still don't know how to do that, but you're going to show us.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how to get in connection with you and how to benefit from some of this good things that you've discovered.
All right. As you mentioned, I have a company called Ahead Coach, and yes, I do have a website, aheadcoach.com. But the best way to connect with me is through my free private Facebook group, where I do weekly free trainings and share my knowledge and experience and help traders to make step forward in their trading journey. The group is called Your Go-To Trading Group. So you can go ahead and request access and connect with me. There will be a few questions to answer, and those are just to give me an idea in what point of your trading journey you are, whether you're just started or you maybe have traded for a while and still struggling with consistency. So recently I have launched this 8-week coaching program because I also have one-to-one coaching. But recently I launched a group program, which takes 8 weeks and focuses on helping you to discover your trading niche and your strong performance zone. And I have a really great results with that approach. Also would like to mention that not only for myself what I was talking about, but also for my students. And after 8 weeks of working together, they do achieve profit factor 2, which means they make twice as much than they lose, and that's without any prior trading experience. And I think that speaks for itself. So yeah, feel free to connect with me on Facebook and request a group. Again, it's called Your Go-To Trading Group, and I will be more than happy to go through all the steps, how we are discovering your trading niche, what the program contains. And I'm very excited to hear from you and join you on your journey, and let's take your trading to the next level together.
Awesome. That's very good. So if you're listening, especially if you're a beginner, I think it makes a lot of sense just to go and do this right from the bat. But if you're listening and you're a beginner, then you want to do this, right? If you're listening and you've been struggling, then you definitely want to do this. So just go ahead, click the link. We're going to be posting it in the description. Get connected to that Face group. Try the program and learn from Agnieszka. She's going to teach you a lot of good things. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, I did as well. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank each and every one of you for listening. And we will see you on the next episode of the How to Trade It podcast.